Hi everyone, and welcome to Words with That One Lady. Okay, let's do this. Alright. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today I have one of my favorite people in the whole world. Oluchi. Oh god. Anyway guys, before this episode started, ready? I had some good news, so I can't share. I'm not even going to share. I'm not interested in sharing, sorry guys. But anyway, hi Oluchi.
Hi.
Welcome to my podcast. How are you doing today?
Doing well.
Yeah. I'm doing okay. It's been a long day. It's 2:55 on the 8th of February. So 20% going. How's your year started?
I mean, just like everyone, there's
Yeah.
been a lot of calamities
It's like
going on
calamity.
in the world.
Because when you say calamity, which one are you referring to? Because there's too much.
Everything.
Everything,
Like, I
yeah.
had to delete the CBC news app from my phone.
Yeah.
Just because I couldn't keep up with
There's too much. There's too
There's
much
just
going
so
on.
much. It's like cognitive overload.
Yes, I agree
The
with
amount
you.
of bad news that we're hearing. Just
Yeah.
the US being
The US, of course.
Everything
being the
is just
US.
happening at once.
Yes.
Yes, focusing on the positive.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Just trying to live one day at a time.
I agree with you that living one day at a time is the way to go. Like, there's nothing that we can do about this for sure. No matter how much we want to talk about, how much we want to say, there's nothing that's nah. Anyway, before we go too far, can you just introduce yourself on the podcast? Let them get to meet you. Let them get to know who you are.
Hi everyone, my name is Oluchi. I am a product designer and researcher. I'm Nigerian. I live in Montreal.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's me.
Yeah. I have known Oluchi now for almost, how many years is it been?
It's 2021.
2021, yes. It's been 4 years since I met her. And every time I meet Oluchi, every time I speak to Oluchi, I get very amazed at the amount of grace that she carries around with her. And in one of our most recent conversations, it's one of those that conversation that spawned this episode. We're like, nah, Oluchi, no. You cannot just go like that and not, have a conversation with us about this. So you said that you were a researcher, and you want to talk a little bit about what you research and what you do and the products that you do as well.
Yeah, I can say a little bit about my background.
Yes, exactly. Let's go ahead.
So for my undergrad, I studied psychology with the intention of going into medicine. I don't know if you know.
I didn't know that.
I went to go into medicine. I know in Canada, if you want to go to medicine, you have to do pre-med.
Yeah.
So I was doing psychology and neuroscience.
Yeah.
And so throughout my undergrad, I was working in an Alzheimer's research lab.
I remember that one. Yes.
And so, yeah, that was all just to build my portfolio for med school.
Okay.
And, in the process of building my portfolio for med school, I started volunteering at the hospital. I started doing some care jobs.
Yeah.
And then I think I woke up one day and I realized I don't want that kind of responsibility. I can't do this with my life.
No.
I'm sorry, this is not me. But I also, during that process, I also built an interest in research.
Yeah.
I've always loved having a hypothesis and testing out that hypothesis.
Yeah.
Writing research. It's like I've always had that interest in it.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to do something around research and around design, but I wasn't quite sure what. I knew I didn't really want to stay in academia.
I remember that conversation in the Uber one day.
Just because I am someone who I like to see the work that I do implemented.
Agreed.
And in academia, with all the red tape,
Too
I
much.
just felt like I wouldn't get as much satisfaction.
Yeah.
So my sister, she sent me a link to, I was looking for grad school options. She sent me a link to a course in Carleton University and it was called Human Computer Interaction. So I was just like, okay, what is that about? And I read more about it.
Yeah.
I saw it was kind of like a mix of psychology and tech.
Yeah.
And it was basically research in tech, but then the good thing about that was you're doing research and you're going to be able to see the research
that you're doing
implemented almost directly or almost immediately on whatever product or digital product that you design.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is what I want. It's very practical. So I went into my master's in human computer interaction. option.
Yeah.
And I did my research in virtual reality, which I really enjoyed. Yes. And so yes, after I graduated, I started working in the product design research field. Field.
That's quite interesting though, having to go from like the medicine piece to realizing that nope, medicine is not the calling for my life, and then going from there to saying, okay, now that I've done this, there's more that I want to do. And you're very correct. Most times research work just ends there in the writing phase. Like it never goes to being used in real life, and it's very discouraging if you're someone that likes to see the work that you do come to life. So that was a very nice trajectory. So could you have done something else if your study did not give you like a thing to read about like this computing part that you then decided, okay, I'll do virtual reality?
I think my mind was always set on research.
Yes.
So I was, even when I was looking for grad school options, I was looking into things like maybe market research or ethnography, or something around those lines. I was even looking into biotechnology.
Yes, I remember.
Biomedical engineering.
Yes.
Anything that had to do with
Research. Yeah.
And so I guess what my sister had said to me felt nicely.
Rooted in what you wanted. Thank you, Anche. We are very, very grateful. We're very grateful for you.
Shout out to ONJ.
Yes. but now looking back, do you think that you should have just gone straight to research from your undergrad instead of doing like pre-med stuff?
No, I wouldn't say that, because it was the pre-med stuff that led me to
where you are.
research. I don't know if I would have had the opportunity to work in the Alzheimer's research field if I wasn't actively doing my work.
Yes, it's true.
So, yeah.
And also, this comes to the conversation of nothing you do is lost or wasted. You get skills that you need that become transferable. You get to know if you want something or you don't want something. You realize that, okay, medicine is not the way to go. And the truth is, all of us Nigerians always start from medicine. I did.
Medicine or law. Yes.
All the men always end up in the engineering eventually. But like I also started on the path of I want to do medicine, and I was like, you know what, physical therapy, and I found research, and I thought, this is the place to be. Because I remember having this conversation with you when we were taking a ride. I remember when we were going to, we were talking about research, and you were asking me, okay, what do I know about research, that, or what made me want to do research, and where I am today, and how it's helping me. But you know, it's very interesting that we do something in undergrad, grad school, and then figure out that, okay, maybe it's not going to take me down the regular path of being a researcher, but or being maybe a medical doctor or this. However, it takes you down the path of ending up to do something else that you eventually like. All right. That being said, the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you and this episode with you was because we were having a conversation in November. November, right?
Is it November?
No, December. I think it was beginning of December. And then Oluchi tells me that I'm moving across the world for the next 1 year. And I'm like, huh? What do you mean? You have a good job, you're doing great, you know, like you're good. And before then, Oluchi had come to see me a year ago too and told me how she was going from one state to another in Nigeria, places you don't want to hear the names that normally you will not go. She went by road. We will not bring that conversation up. However, Oluchi told me she was going for a year. And then I was like, no, we have to talk about it before you go, and we'll come back again a year later, and we'll now know how did that go. But tell us, where are you going to, and why are you going?
So I will be traveling. I guess I'll call it. I don't like to call it the sabbatical.
No, you're going to voyage.
Yeah, exactly, voyage. I will be going across Africa, so mostly Western and Eastern Africa.
Yeah.
For about a year, just doing some work.
Yeah.
So I am part of an organization which focuses on using research and data to solve problems across Africa.
Yeah.
It's such a broad term, but it's basically what it is.
And that's what it's supposed to be, you know?
Yeah. It could be, using tech solutions to solve problems. It could be, using non-tech solutions to solve like services, designing services to solve certain gaps or filling certain gaps.
Yeah.
So that's something that I do as well. So I just decided that I wanted to take a year off just to focus on this work. I've always been someone that I've always had an inclination to you're coming to Canada, you're gaining all of this knowledge,
You have to go put it
you have to go and put it somewhere that actually matters.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a Pan-Africanist at heart.
The love of Pan-Africanist.
And so it was always, I'm going to go back to them.
Makes sense.
I think that at some point in my life, I wanted to just move back up to like the African, not even Nigeria.
Okay.
I think for me, wherever I am in Africa, I feel like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be Nigeria.
Okay.
So I've always looked at Africa as just a holistic home.
Yeah.
It's never been one, just Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so I've always had that connection to
Something, yeah.
give back my knowledge, give back my experience,
Yeah.
just try as much as possible with the capacity that I have to help. And it's not just me going to help, it's also me gaining experience,
Yes.
meeting people, learning so much about culture.
Yeah.
So yes, so long story short, I'm doing an African tour. Yeah, just here.
People take gap years
Yes.
to go travel the world and eat good food. Oh, she's still doing that.
I will.
And go on vacation. My darling Oluchi is going to change the world. Now, what exactly, and it's actually, when you told me, I was very impressed. Remember, we were like, really, that's so cool. What's the solution that you're trying to create with research right now?
I can give examples of some of the work that I've done.
Yes.
So the organization I'm with, we work with tech companies.
Yeah.
Big, large tech companies like Wikipedia, Meta. They come to us and they're like, okay, we're trying to design this product, but we want to have African users in mind. Because in many cases, these
never have.
products are designed in North America.
Yeah.
And it's just dumped on the African.
Yeah.
They expect African users to
Just-
adapt to the product rather than the product adapt
Into Africa.
users. And so I think now these tech companies are picking up and realizing that it's becoming a global market now, and people are not willing to just use it just
Because.
yeah, we need to actively think of users while designing it. And so now I guess there's more of a market to do research about African users to figure out okay, what product works for them, how can this already built product, how can it be adapted to culture, to language, to the way of life.
Yeah.
So that's one area that we do work. So
Yeah.
that also obviously involves research.
Research, yes.
There's also design as well.
Yeah.
So when I talk about design, it's basically just us designing how an app should look like, and then providing it to these companies, and then going to code the app there. So that's what we do. An example I could give is for Wikipedia. Recently finished a job in Wikipedia where they wanted to understand how readers of Wikipedia, like the mental models of the readers of Wikipedia. And so far their research has been English and French. And then they realized that within the African continent, there are people who read Wikipedia in primarily Swahili.
Yes.
Or primarily Igbo.
Yeah.
So they wanted to understand the mental models of these small
Readers.
language readers.
Yeah.
Yes, that live in the African continent. So that was research that we did with the readers of Wikipedia. I think that was about 5 different countries. And that was something that I was
Given to Wikipedia. Oh,
then it's based on this data, how could they better, like how could they improve their experience to better suit these African readers reading African language. But then there's another side of this where it's also research, but rather than working with tech companies, we're working with engineers, international development organizations.
Yeah.
This is mainly it's not necessarily tech solutions. Sometimes it's just design itself
Yeah.
in order to solve humanitarian
Issues.
the issues.
Yeah.
So an example of and what Rose was saying when I went to so last year I was doing the job with UNICEF.
Yeah.
And so the whole point of that was to do research into the different norms in northern Nigeria,
Yes.
specifically Sokoto and Katsina.
Sokoto, ladies and gentlemen. Sokoto.
Specifically Sokoto and Katsina, and just understand how these norms affect the lives of adolescent girls
Yeah.
within Nigeria, and how can we design services to solve
This issue.
these issues.
Yeah.
Obviously, not we can't change the norms.
Of course we
but
can. We will
just-
try.
We
We can only try.
can
We will try.
but just supporting the girl, acknowledging that these norms exist,
Yes.
supporting the girls, designing services that could, I guess just improve the lives of the girl,
Yeah.
despite these norms.
I think. Yeah.
So that's another area of research work that we do in the organization. And that's what I focus on.
Yes. Can we call you a humanitarian now?
No.
No.
No, not. I don't deserve that.
Not yet. The truth is, I think you're doing an amazing job, and like we were saying earlier, where you started from is actually taking you to where you want to be eventually in your life plans, in your career. But what ignited this whole thing? Like, where did this all start from? Where did this come from?
As I've said, I've always been like I've always adhered to an Africanism. And so even before when I was in secondary school, I've always gone to like Model UN conferences.
Yes.
I've always had that. I guess I've always had an inclination to development. And when someone asks me what do you want to do, when I was in secondary school, I was like, I'm not sure what I want to do, but I know I want to help. I know I want to help people however I can. And so finding research and using research to help, that's a great combination.
If you're listening to this episode right now, just raise your hand and give a round of applause to my very wonderful friend, because I would not lie to you. You will hardly find people who want to actually make a change, and not just make a change because they want to be heard about but because you want to make meaningful changes that would actually affect people's life. Because you've lived the world where there are things that are not accessible to people. There are no technologies that people know about. There are people, like you said, most of these companies do work. They do stuff that cannot be used back home, or that cannot be used in any African community, because it was created by Westerners for Westerners, and they expect that we just somehow should adapt and adopt to the lifestyle. But going into this voyage of yours, or going into this very wonderful expedition of trying to change lives with research, what do you think is the hardest part, or will be the hardest part?
I think it's something that you alluded to, where sometimes you do research, but the research part is fine. You get the data, the quality data.
Yes.
But the implementation part is hard. And I know I said I went into this role with hope that I will be able to see the data that I collect being implemented.
Yes.
And I have the opportunity to have these experiences where I actually see my work get into everything. But then it's not all those things that like, for example, UNICEF project.
Yeah.
I went to Sokoto and I could tell that the girls that we were speaking to, it was almost like they had some level of respondent fighting, where it's like they've been so over-researched. Everybody wants to collect data from them. But then that last month I spoke to this researcher and I gave them all of this information. But what they able to do, like, my life is still the same. And as a researcher, there's a certain level of hopelessness, or not helplessness.
Yes.
Where it's like, I'm collecting the data, but I'm not necessarily the implementer. I don't really have that power.
So she.
And I think that's something that I really grapple with. I wish I would be able to collect this data, and I wish I had the capacity to use this data to change the lives. But unfortunately, that's not the case with development. Collecting this data, giving it to UN agencies, and just with the hope that something will actually happen. And if you know UN agencies, it's very bureaucratic and there's so much red tape. So sometimes, which is not necessarily their fault, because the reality of the field, that reality of funding, see the USA thing that's happening right now.
EDI. It's like I
Yeah.
can't even deal. The truth is, it's very. As I'm also a researcher.
Yeah.
I do research work, and even as a researcher, when I see some proposals that we want to put together, I get almost tired too, because I'm like, so what?
Yeah.
And I'm one person who would say, when we're drawing the proposal for the work, I want to see the implementation. I want to see the knowledge translation piece. Because if it's not part of it, I feel like we're wasting our participants' time. We're wasting people's time. Like, I remember finishing.
You're also giving hope to the participants.
That by not
Like for example, those girls in school, like, okay, this person is coming to ask me all of these questions about how I can, have better access to education, how how so and so can be solved. Like they get excited, like okay, this change is coming, but then a year later, 2 years later, and there's a certain level of
and the truth is, you feel guilt, but what can you do about it? Because, like you said, there's the red tape of you need to go through due process. Research doesn't just happen because you get the data and you translate it by yourself. No, you will have to follow the process of doing the work, send it into the right authorities, and then go through the process of actually funding the project. And wow, when people ask me, would you ever go back home to do great work? I'm like, yes, but I need funding. And the only way to get funding is to be rooted here and be able to channel the funds back home. Because if I just pack my bag, because you also are doing this work, but you're not doing it only on your own. You're doing this through a medium, through an organization, like sponsoring and making sure that this work actually is done.
Yeah.
Now imagine if you just pack your bag and go back home. You will just join the bandwagon and you just begin to get angry about where things are, and then you cannot do anything about it. So that being said, what exactly are you looking forward to in all of this?
I'm just looking forward to learning. I think there's so much to learn. Like African culture, history, just so much to learn.
Yeah.
I think I'm really looking forward to learning. I'm really looking forward to meeting like the people that I know. I remember when I was in school last year.
I still can't get over the fact that I went to go ahead.
I just met incredible, the girls. These are the girls from ages 10 to 17, and just hearing them speak. Most of them speak Hausa, but some of them speak English. And even like the limited English that they still inspired me so much. And so I'm looking forward to being inspired by them.
Yeah.
Looking forward to exploring. And that's what
And you're going to be in a different place. You're going to be visiting how many countries again? She's not aware, but you're going to be exposed to a lot of cultures, a lot of people, a lot of things, and you're going to do all of this work in these different places. Are there things you want to get out of this, like this whole experience, aside from like getting to know all about, like what is the one thing that you think is tangible that in the next 1 year, say, I'm glad that this happened?
Yeah. In addition to the work that I'm doing, I also have a personal project that I want to look into material poverty amongst girls. And just it's not a very researched. People don't really pay attention to research and
no.
Anything that affects women, they don't care.
They don't care. No.
And so I really want to do research on material poverty. What the difference with that is I also want to do some implementation on my own.
Yes.
Self-funded implementation.
Oh, that look like well.
I think it would look like outreaches.
Yes.
Within different rural areas and different societies. Just doing outreaches, teaching that's all about menstrual health. Period tracking. That's something that I want to teach. I love to teach. And so scenarios where I can get a family share that with children, just teach.
Take it on.
Anything.
That's amazing. Now that you have this big voyage ahead of you, are you worried about the white saviorism? Now, when I say white saviorism, I would not even say white saviorism. I'll say for us, for black people, I would say saviorism in general. Are you worried, and are you worried about that going into this? or there's a savior complex. And if anybody who doesn't understand, savior complex is you see a problem, you come into it, and you want to take care of the problem, and you feel like you're the all in all. However, at the end of the day, once you are out of that space, nothing moves, nothing changes, things go back to the way they used to be because there were no systems put in place to make sure that nothing goes wrong with what you just came to implement. Are you worried about that?
The other that's something that because obviously I'm coming from a place of privilege.
Yes.
I'm going into I understand the idea of going into the civil.
Yeah.
And I guess my mentality going into it, I'm able to see people, and I don't think I want to see it. I think for me, I want to learn from you, and I want you to learn
For me, that's
so I'm not going there to say, and I'm also acknowledging that, like for example, with nonsense, I wasn't going into something I need to change this, I need to keep that.
yeah. Because they also have their ways.
They have their ways,
Yeah.
and I'm acknowledging that I'm not changing it.
Yeah.
I just want to try and collect the data and essentially help to live better lives.
Yeah.
But then, and I know I'm digressing, but I'm getting to the point. There were some girls when I went to school, some girls are like, you know what, I like my life. I don't see like getting married at 13, 14.
It's not a bad idea.
It makes me look, more superior amongst my friends.
Wow.
And so in that scenario, white superiority, respect or perception. No,
That's not good
that's
enough.
not good. You need to go to school, you need to do that. But if that's what she wants,
Then sure.
I think keeping that open mind and allowing people to choose, whatever service or whatever option it is that you're presenting to them, choose or not to choose, not forcing things on them. I think that is maybe one small way to potentially
That's so interesting that you mentioned that because sometimes you go into wanting to help people and you don't realize that maybe there's no problem in the first place. Maybe they're okay. And maybe now you then change your mindset to helping them to make sure that if it's what they want to do, they know the right way to go about it, they know what could help them and all of that.
It's just about presenting options.
Yes.
Allowing them to understand that okay, this is your life now, there are other options.
Yes. Yes.
It's up to you to either choose that other option
Or not.
or to stay with it. That's fine.
You see why I wanted to talk to you about this, but no, that's actually very, very enlightening because most times we always think that there's always a problem and we have the solution because we live in better place. But actually, there's no problem. And like, this brings me back to the conversation of people look at us who came when you first came from Nigeria and some sure people think you see lions every day. That's the thought process.
Yeah.
And for us, we're like, well, Nigeria was okay, but my parents wanted me to come see a place that was more better than where I live, and it's okay too that people live there and it's all good. Things are going well for them and they're living a good life. Do you understand? So you are on a great track, and I'm excited to see where this goes, what you get from it. And the truth is, we're coming back again a year from now at some point to come to review and see if it actually was what you thought it was going to be, what the ups and downs were. Is there anything that you were scared about?
I remember I was in church years ago, and I was telling God, did like obviously with this travel for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to happen. I want something big to happen.
Yeah.
I just want something big to happen this year.
Okay.
And I told God that, and I guess a part of me was worried. Like, what if I come back like
Next year, yeah.
And then I did a bunch of research. I saw a bunch of it's got that's like back.
Oh,
So that's something that I
worried about.
worry about. And I remember my sister just telling me that I shouldn't take that on not that individual events per se, but I shouldn't put that pressure on myself. Like this is what I want. I have said I want to travel here, I want to do this research. Go and do it and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the process. You don't need to have KPIs of everything that's going to happen.
But the problem is we're adults, and the way we live our lives, there has to be like, what is it? What's the outcome measure? How do we measure it? How do we work?
And that's how I've lived my life all. Like I finished high school, I went straight to uni. I finished uni, I went straight to my master's. Like I've never really taken time to just go with the flow. It's not like you're going there to just take pictures and like
No.
you have things you want to do. Go and do them.
Yeah.
And just allow God to
Use it to
use you throughout. Don't be too rigid. And I think that really saturates. It's less pressure. I'm going to see this one. I'm going to enjoy myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing people to learn from. I'm not quite sure exactly. I don't know where I'm going to be but I know that this is something I'm going to do. Yeah, that's it. I don't need to come back with mindset. I don't need to find myself because if I go back there to find myself,
I beg you.
I probably won't know it myself. But that's okay.
But the thing is, we're always in different phases of our life. I mean, every phase you always find yourself. There's no like eureka moment when you find yourself and nothing will change about you. But the truth is, I think Janet has just puts the pin on the head already. Go with the mindset that this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to learn a lot from this process. You cannot put on yourself that, oh, what am I going to come back with? That's already dumbing down the process.
Exactly.
Let yourself just live through it. But it's not your fault. You're Nigerian. So you always want to make sure that is there a reason why you're doing this?
Exactly.
What are you going to gain from this? But it's okay sometimes to just go and say, just do it. This is yes, exactly. And let what's going to come out of it. And as Christians, we cannot control what God wants to use us to.
Right.
So you having the inclination to actually do this in the first place is a good directive. And I know that God's going with you, it's going to go well. And I'm excited to actually see you a year from now and hear how great or whatever comes out of this. And also learning, like, what did you learn and what did people learn from you? I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
And it'll be great. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's anything you want to say before that.
I'm telling you countries that are.
Yes, what countries are we going to see?
Talk about my plan.
Yes, let's do it.
So I'm planning on starting with Lagos.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I have this place where I get to do a road trip all the way from Lagos to Dakar. So it's like two ends of Western Africa. But obviously stopping by different countries. So stopping by Lagos to Benin Republic, spending maybe a week in Benin Republic, going to Riga, and going from Benin Republic to Togo. Then there's a time
Okay.
obviously go back to Ghana.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. That's not bad at all.
Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire, all of this by road. And whenever I tell people this, I was like, oh my god,
I'm part of the people.
traveling to around Africa by road is crazy. But it's something that I'm looking forward to. I just feel like you learn so much more.
Yes. No, I agree with you that you're going to learn a lot from the process. And then from Cote d'Ivoire, that's
I think it's Liberia. Liberia to Freetown, Sierra Leone. And Sierra Leone to Conakry.
yeah. Yes.
I think I'm mixing something, but I know Liberia. I'm sorry. I know Sierra Leone, Guinea Conakry shares.
So, okay. Yes.
And then from Guinea Conakry, I'm probably take a flight to somewhere. And then Dakar to see Cape Verde.
Yeah. That's something I'm interested in.
Just travel around and probably come back to Lagos. Go back to one of my best friends. I think that's another thing that I really am looking forward to. Just because when you leave home, you leave a lot of people behind.
Yes.
And so just having that opportunity to
Go back.
And just be with your family and your friends.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
It's something that I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
And also traveling with my dad.
Travel.
Doing Lagos to Accra together.
That's a point.
It's just reigniting those relationships. Yes.
You see
Then
what?
afterwards, we stand up.
Okay. You see why I'm excited to see how this pans out for you, because genuinely not saying this because everybody says it, but you're actually going to come back a whole different person. And not a whole different person because everything's going to change for you, but because of these experiences that you're about to have, it's going to be very, very enlightening. I'm excited for it as well. Thank you, Oluchi. And I hope that you feel very fulfilled from all of this, and that you get a lot of knowledge from this process. Because and God will bless you sincerely, because the work you're about to do is not small work. It's a lot of work, and the strength you need, you get it. And I hope that this is not the only part you change life. This is the starting point to all the change that you're about to do. I'm going to be here helping her document it completely. Thank you so much, Ed.
Thanks.
See you in a year's time.
See you. Bye.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it so much, don't forget to share. Let your friends know. Let your sister, brothers, uncle, mothers, fathers know about it. It can help anybody. This can help anybody at all. So go ahead and share it. If you also have a question, comments, things you like me to do more, or anything you like me to hear, go ahead and leave me an email. Check the description and you will find my email there, and I would love to hear back from you guys. Thank you so much once again, and until next time, keep living, keep loving, and ensure that you're living your truth. And until the next podcast, have a wonderful day. Bye guys.